Hey guys, Dale here, back with a brand new RimWorld series. This is going to be part 0, so we're just going to go over kind of the scenario, the mods, the goal of the series. If you're interested in getting straight into the gameplay, go ahead and feel free to skip this episode and pop over to part 1. So I think the first thing that I like to do is I usually like to take you guys to Graphics Center, and we'll just take a look at some of the mods here that are adding a bunch of textures to the game. So we have Anomaly Upscaled, Oracle's Miscellanea, a lot of vanilla texture stuff, Alpha Memes, Ancient Urban Ruins, Melee Animations, Rebuild. So nothing like too out of the ordinary, nothing that's really going to change the theme of the game dramatically into like a whole different setting or IP or anything. Let's take a look at some of the mods that we're going to be playing with and talk about kind of how that's going to be impacting our gameplay. So the very first one is Vanilla Quest Expanded the Generator. So this is going to add a bunch of new quests, all related to kind of like building this really high-powered generator. If you look through the mod page, there's a bunch of spoilers and stuff. So we won't go through all of it, but there's a bunch of quests that get added. If we take a look here, it starts as this like basic arc reactor that makes 3,600 watts of power, and eventually gets upgraded along the way to wood burning or chem fuel, and then you make a choice between it being geothermal or uranium powered, increasing in strength as you go. So that'll be kind of like one of the big highlights of this playthrough, is we'll take a look at this new Vanilla Quest Expanded series and how it kind of expands upon the game. The next big feature of the game is Ancient Urban Ruins, or of the Modpack. So this is going to be adding a bunch of just like malls and bunkers and city centers and all kinds of ruins that we can go and scavenge from. And so you might start getting an idea of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing as a small group of scavengers that are kind of like held up in a city, trying to bring some order to the chaotic world that we're building for them, and hopefully trying to make it off of that world as well. In addition to ancient urban ruins, we also have ancient mining industry and ancient hydroponic farm facilities. So these will just be more sites that we can find. Hopefully, there'll be good things from these sites that we can bring back to the colony. We will be using vehicles expanded, so we'll be driving around, we'll be building what we can in order to be able to haul back as much stuff as makes sense for the colony that we're building. So here is kind of where it takes a little bit of a left turn. Shamblers expanded. We are zombies now. So kind of the main feature of this mod is that Shamblers no longer have a time limit. So they don't expire after a few hours or a few days. As long as they are eating, as long as they don't starve to death, basically, they will continue to persist on the map. We're also buffing the Shamblers in that they hate wildlife, so they will murder wildlife, and that'll provide some corpses on the map that they can eat. So they'll potentially linger longer, and they're going to potentially be taking food sources away from us. So a little bit more difficulty, a little bit more reason to go out and deal with the Shamblers. We don't want just like a map full of Shamblers eating all of the food on the map and preventing us from being able to leave and explore and bring back resources that we've scavenged. One more buff for the Shamblers. This is from Alpha Genes, so there was an update, version 3.1, 34 new Anomaly DLC genes, 20 of which are Shambler only genes. So Shamblers have a chance to spawn with genes now. They have a chance to spawn as like any xenotype, but they'll spawn with some potentially interesting extra Shambler genes. So you can kind of, when we look at the Shamblers, you'll notice that they'll have like this little half Shambler icon and then something else. Shamblers might have boomalope nodules so that they explode on death. Shamblers might have a gene that makes it so that their melee attacks pass the shambler infection on. So this is definitely a way for us to lose people and have to deal with people raising from the dead within our own colony. They are still just shamblers though, so in order to kind of like ramp things up a little bit more, we're gonna have a secondary virus on in the game as well. We're gonna be playing with scaria contamination as well as the scaria zombies contamination patch. So any non-player pawns, I think I set it for like a 33% chance that they have scaria. If they have scaria, they'll go berserk. They could pass that infection on to people that they attack. So visitors, travelers, people that are asking for sanctuary in our colony, they are all potentially a risk to us. And potentially vectors for bringing disease into our walls. And then to ramp up the difficulty a little bit more, we're also going with the LTS ammunition simple ammo packs mod. So this just required the ammunition framework from LTS. But I think having, zombies that aren't like shamblers, I don't think shamblers are going to be trying to break down our walls. I know the scaria zombies might try to break down our walls in order to get to food, but just having those guys on the map, we're going to want to make sure that we're dealing with them, thinning out their numbers, but we're also going to have to be aware that ammo is a limited supply. We'll have to gather resources and craft it, and then make sure that it's equipped on our pawns, and then even then our pawns can only carry so much ammo. So definitely upping the danger factor here just by creating more scarcity in the game. I think fighting infinite zombies with infinite ammo doesn't seem as scary. This seems like there may be some higher stakes. Let's go ahead and I will load up the world and we'll take a look at the world that we've generated. We'll take a look at our pawns, our ideology, all that fun stuff. Okay, so this is the world that we've created. 30% coverage, and then the world size is just like one notch lower. You can see there are no friendly factions on this world. This world has basically been like quarantined by the Empire. They knew that some horrible anomalous disaster happened here and that there's weird plagues on this planet. So everyone that could get off has gotten off. Everyone else has kind of like resorted to piracy. So we have a regular pirate faction, a cannibal pirate faction, and then we have like the xeno-human pirate faction. And then you might notice that we do have like some city biomes here. So the darker circle is the city center, and then we have like the city outskirts. And we have decided to start our colony in this city center over here. If we take a look at it, I think we can grow half the year. There is some pollution nearby, so we'll probably have to deal with that. And then, of course, the only people left on this world are scattered survivors, us, and some unfriendly pirates all over the place. Let's take a look at our map. So this is what the city center looks like. I did mark kind of like the center of the map. These yellow squares are actually like the dead center. It's a 300 by 300 map. So that's like 150, 150, all that fun stuff. And here are our colonists. So we have Sophia Reyes. She was an officer candidate. She was a policewoman, jogger, pretty fast learner, great at shooting, all right at melee and construction, and then a passion in social. We have Michael Allen, who enjoyed music as a child, became a paramedic. He's a hard worker, friends with animals. He'll be our primary doctor, I suppose. And then we have Owen here, who is kind of like a depressive but fast-learning teenager. He's 16. He's an industrial orphan. I guess he knows mining pretty well somehow and crafting. But that is what we'll start with, and our wealth is going to be crazy because there's so many constructions on this map, so many buildings on this map. I think we just have to kind of like pick one and see how much of the city we can set up to defend. Anyhow, that's going to be it for part 0. Part 1 should be coming out right after this, so I'll see you guys there. As always, thanks for hanging out, and until next time, have a good one. Bye.